Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting as we are going to be using the brand new Life and Death pack to kind of inspire this build. In the brand new world of Ravenwood that comes with the Life and Death expansion pack, you have 3 separate neighborhoods, and today we're actually going to be focusing on Crow's Crossing, specifically this build right here, which is the Old Ravenswood Estate. Let's see the info panel. It says, everyone in Ravenwood knows about the Old Ravenswood Estate. It's one of the oldest buildings in the village, though it's been vacant for years. Locals whisper about the regal but oddly overbearing presence, the once fastidiously tended garden turned wild, and the lovely abandoned greenhouse on the estate grounds. Rumor has it that this was once the summer home of a powerful spellcaster and tarot reader long ago. If a sim comes along who can get past the flickering lights and foreboding sounds and the other inexplicable happenings inside, they'll have quite the fixer-upper. And then the lot traits it has are on hallowed grounds. This lot adds exciting punches of terror and otherwise daily mundane, be it possessed TVs or etc, etc. Awesome. But I'm going to show you guys the house before we get into the speed build. Here is the house in all of its glory. I absolutely love this lot. Everything about it is just really cool to me, like the whole lead up into the world. It has essentially what I would consider to be a moat, and I love a moat. I truly do. And then the build itself has like a lot of fun lore, which I think is fun. There's like ruins areas over here, and then it even has this fancy little well. Oh, I didn't even see this. It's got like this like grated side. I know that's like not functional, but I still think it's cool. I like the walk up it has to it. And it is a really huge lot. Let's go in and look at the house. I like that it's really matching the storytelling vibes. These new little like kind of roof pieces are actually part of the Life and Death catalog that you get. But it's a 3-story, 4-story house. Holy cannoli. It is giving a little bit of EA in terms of like how large it is. But I'm being forgiving because it's not furnished, it's abandoned, and it's giving abandoned in a really fun way. I really like all the details with the holes in the floor and in the paint. Plus, there's supposed to be like strange happenings. I'm going to turn my grid off because I don't like the way it looks. And I swear, the floors that come with this pack are stunning. Stunning. But you come in here, it seems like you have a really large kitchen and dining space. And then you have an additional kind of sitting area with a large piano, a ginormous bathroom. This bathroom is like very modern compared to the rest of the house, I feel like, because it's using the new modern appliances. Then you come upstairs and we have what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms and 1, 2, 3, 4 bathrooms. Jesus. And then we're going to go upstairs one more time. We have an additional bedroom. I would imagine this is like a butler's quarter, if you will, like a live-in kind of help area. And an additional bathrooms, over to 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. And then up here it looks kind of like a little art studio / lookout. I really like the vibes of this. I think it's quite fun. I love these little benches with the llamas. I'm big into that. And then, of course, you have the backyard. We have a little spooky area for, you know, the familiar graves, if you will. A play area. I personally would have never wanted to play here as a child, but that's cool. And then we have the abandoned greenhouse, which I love the new greenhouse roof texture they gave us. It is just so pretty on the inside. So that's a fun little detail. But we are actually going to be essentially rebuilding the Ravenwood Estate. I don't want to call it a renovation because I'm not gonna lie, I bulldoze it. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay team, we have finally made it into this speed build, and I will tell you, if you want to take a little pause and get a little snack, I don't blame you because this thing is quite the doozy, and I do think I cut out 98% of the landscaping considering how long it took, and I still have hours and hours of footage from this build because it ends up being stinking huge. There is, I believe, 5 or 6 bedrooms and 5 or 6 bathrooms. There's a study, a library, a greenhouse, a couple balconies, and I do believe I end up leaving out a basement, but at one point I did heavily consider it. So it is a hefty build with no way to explain it, and I also struggled a lot with the roof. I'm not necessarily super comfortable doing that kind of chateau style or maybe Victorian style roofing that you see a lot, but I actually think it did eventually come together very, very well. I was happy with it. I did have some glitching issues and at one point considered putting like a staff sleeping quarters in that top level floor, but ultimately decided not to because it kind of glitched my entire thing out at a certain point and I did have to rage quit. I built this over multiple days because there's no way I have the time as someone who works as much as I do to just, sit down and play The Sims for 12.5 hours. I wish, but unfortunately that's not the case. Plus, I was honestly feeling a little bit of white hot rage at a certain point. It does start to come together really beautifully at a certain point, and I really am happy with the way it came out. I've never really built anything in the style that I can think of. It's like borderline a chateau style, if you will. I do have a reference photo that I will insert so you guys can see what was kind of drawing my inspiration. I didn't necessarily use a floor plan like I have in previous builds, but I still just needed an idea of what to make the outside look like because I just didn't want this house to be giving Home Alone, but in a different font because that's what I was worried I was going to do, and at first that's how it was a looking. That really is. I bulldozed my first attempt after trying to make it like cute because I just couldn't get past the fact that it looked like there were going to be bandits breaking in on Christmas Eve. So thank goodness for Pinterest. I say that all the time. It's actually one of my favorite spots on the internet and it's where I get a lot of my inspiration. So a little pro tip, if you are stuck on a build, that's what I would recommend doing. As you can see, I am working through trying to put these like gargoyles up. They don't stay. I don't know what I was on. I don't know what I was trying to do, but I was not doing it. I spent a ungodly amount of time on the outside of this build, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I really wanted it to feel glamorous, like it filled in the lot, very old money, like Great Gatsby-esque. Like they have balls in here. They've got fancy balls and parties, and like maybe they're related to royalty. They're like 3 or 4 times removed from the crown and they certainly don't let you forget it. And I just enjoyed the whole process of getting to do it. The landscaping came together really pretty. I'm almost disappointed that I didn't film and leave in more of it, but it took genuinely hours. I want to say I spent like 3 hours off camera just finishing the landscaping, and then like an idiot sandwich at one point I was like, I'm gonna terrain paint, and I did that because I was trying to visualize where I wanted to place things. I added in a gazebo and a greenhouse and a pool, so I just needed to spatially figure out where they were going to be and also have a good idea of where I wanted my landscaping. So I decided to terrain paint, and you just know that terrain paint glitch came for my neck. It is standing on my face and I am devastated by it, but it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta just roll with the punches. The outside of the build seems to be coming together, and to a point it is, but at a certain point I do just go through and change all of it. Right now I am actually using that lighter brick that came with the Life and Death expansion pack, and here I am messing with the roof trims. I mess with these roof trims an ungodly amount. I could not pick what color I want. I do know the color you see on screen is the one I end up going with, but I'm pretty sure I changed it a couple more times, whether it's on camera or off camera, because I was just indecisive and I wanted it to be pretty. I love beautiful things. I really, truly, truly do. But I like the way it's coming together. I think that's our final little outside color scheme. But I'll tell you, a lot of Ravenswood is kind of dark, muted, and that's the build style. It's like architecturally very, very beautiful. I'm not an architectural person, so I don't want to comment on it too much because I know someone's going to come for me, and I'm an extraordinarily sensitive person, and that's just not going to work for me. But you guys see, there's eaves, there's big doors, there's big windows, there's friezes. I love it. But I wanted to do something a little bit brighter and just like obviously white. Like I used a lot of white on the outside of this build, and I think a lot of that comes down to personal preference. If you've seen me build before, then you'll know on my channel and in my personal style, whether it's in The Sims or actually in my actual home, I really love a cutesy, pastel, bright, clean, kind of feeling, and that's because the home I grew up in as a child was very dark, like dark wood floors, dark paint, dark furniture, and I am just a girl. I have a cow print chair, and I have a boho style hutch behind me. I was made for things that were cutesy, light, and airy, and I wanted to bring that into this style. Plus, I think the world that we're actually building in, which is Crow Crossing, it looked really nice in my opinion. Because out of all the neighborhoods in this world, it definitely is like the downtown, like more uppity, kind of happening spot in my opinion, and this is right off of that, so I thought it actually does fit in to an extent. As I'm starting to put in the last little bit of details, I will tell you, at a certain point, I almost felt like I had too many choices, which is a phenomenal feeling, especially when you're spending the kind of money that you do when you buy a pack like this. I just love how many window choices there are. There's several window choices for small, medium, and tall wall height. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed with the amount of choices, which I think is fun because I think it allows you to make a home that is this size, if not bigger, because at one point I was having like summit fever and I thought to myself, wow, this house is not big enough. This is a mansion. They probably have a ballroom, but I have no room to put this party room in. What is going on? And I just like that because of that, you could make a really large estate hall that still felt true to style. Oh, we're jumping on the inside, and let me just tell you, the kitchen set that came with Life and Death is probably my most favorite kitchen set. The only one that might compare is the one from Dream Home Decorator. I just love this. It's giving like shaker style cabinet. It's also still Victorian, but I feel like depending on what kind of accessories you use and like painting and the style of home, this is something you could put in like a little contemporary house. I think it's really, really cute. It's like an enhanced version of the base game cabinets that I really like, with more swatches. I love the little marble countertops. I love that they have a true white swatch because we do have a base game counter that's, I guess, sort of similar. And the marble top on it is just not my favorite. I don't really know how to explain to you what it is I don't like about it, but it's just not my favorite. I'm pulling out a little bit of clutter because this kitchen is ginormous. And I was trying to make sure I built something that felt really glorious. So I put a lot of tiles in, a lot of different wallpapers, lots of trims, lots of archways, because I thought, you know, whoever bought this house definitely was true to the style and true to all things Victorian. Like every little simmer out there, I put double ovens to signify that these people are rich. I almost put double fridges, but I refrain. And the fridge that comes with the matching set has like the glass paneling on the inside, and I thought it was weird that they were on the same side. But just know, I am never too good to put double ovens in. But I put a lot of clutter in. I wanted this home to feel lived in, luxurious, and true to like the overall level of like glamour and glitz. I don't want to say the time period or the decoration style because again, I am not an expert on those things, and I am a very sensitive person, and if someone came at me, I would just simply cry. I would cry, and I do this for fun, so I can't be crying over it. I don't know if I've ever built a kitchen of this size because the way it wraps around makes the cabinets just absolutely ginormous, and it's kind of glorious. My kitchen right now is probably about the size of my desk, and my fridge is just in the middle of the room. It does not have like a slot, so you constantly have to like sidestep around the dogs to just wash your hands. So not my fave. I am dreaming of a kitchen like this. It's absolutely glorious. And here we are jumping in the dining room, which I think is probably my least favorite space in the house, and I feel that way even more so looking back on it. I struggled a bit to find chairs that matched the way I wanted it, as well as a table, but I wanted it to be very large, very formal, and all in all, I don't know, something about it just didn't speak to me the way the rest of the house did, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I do really enjoy the living space and the office, as well as all the bedrooms, so maybe it's not even that I don't like this, I just don't like it as much as everything else I did. I did manage to add this little bar area, and I added lots of like photos and stuff in. Maybe at one point these are photos of the house or the person who's lived here over the years, their travels, and I imagine whoever lives here is definitely very much into trinket collecting. on their like travels. And I say that because I am a trinket collector. When I was in London a few months ago with my friend Alexis, she had a very like secure, stable purse, and my purse like would not close. So she held all of the important documents, and we started calling my bag the trinket bag. And we would go out, whether we were just like sightseeing or whether we were drinking tequila, and we would just throw all like random pamphlets, postcards, rubber ducks, like all the things in my purse. And then the next morning before we went out, we would dump out the purse and we would like look through our trinkets and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you had this, and be like really fun. So in my personal opinion, get a trinket purse. We are moving on into the living room, which ends up being so beautiful. I really struggled with what rug to use, and I end up picking, I believe, a rug from Strangerville, and I really enjoyed the color swatch. However, I don't know if it necessarily matches the way I wanted. The vast size of this room made it very difficult for me to furnish in a way that made it feel like it was actually full. And I was like, am I an EA build? Am I an EA build? I was like determined not to be. But I end up splitting this little side area with the windows up with a archway, which I do think helped quite a bit, and I liked how glamorous that piano room kind of felt. Like, this is where they probably go and they smoke cigars after dinner. I would lose my mind if someone did that inside my house. But these people are fancy rich. They are fancy, fancy rich. They don't worry about these silly little things. I'm just kind of cluttering it up, but if you see in the corner over into the office, I actually use the archways from the Cozy Bistro kit, and they're like these pocket doors and they're open, and I debated on doing it for so long off camera. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, I did the floor plan off camera because it took me a minute. It took me a long time. But I just loved the way they looked, and in my personal opinion, because this house has so much character, and whoever moved in here, I think, like, restored its character. Granted, I know I hit the bulldoze button, but I was just doing my thing. This is a storyline at this point. But I don't think they're screaming bistro too much. I think they're screaming quirky, you know, old money estate. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't care. Like, I am a pretty anxious person, and if someone in the comments are like, it looks like a bistro, I'd be like, you're wrong. You're wrong. Welcome to my TED Talk. And not necessarily because they would be wrong, but I think they look quite okay. I like the way they turned out. I think they're really cute. And because this room does feel a little empty, I put a really fancy wallpaper on that you'll see at the end, and I think it really helps it come together. We are going on into the study/office, and I was very much going for some kind of like really dark masculine vibes. I was basically channeling my father in this room. Lots of dark woods, which there's dark wood all over the house, but I believe I ended up putting in like a foosball table and a really fancy like kind of captain's chair, if you will. My dad has like a room that he kind of hangs out with, and he puts all his trinkets in. I call them his trinkets. He's like really into Elvis and things like that. And the room has green carpet on the floor and orange carpet on the ceiling. Oh, I lied. Reverse that. And we put up wood paneling. It did not previously have wood paneling. I've talked about this before. It makes him happy, and it's quite funny when people come to my house and I'm like, oh, this is our Elvis room. This is our 70s room. And they're like, what are you talking about? And they see it and they go, oh. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be totally truthful about myself at this exact moment. I can tell a story. I am someone who you like having at like a dinner party because I can tell a good freaking story. And sometimes I like to add like a little bit of sparkle to a story because I gotta tell a good one, you know? And the one time I can honestly say I don't do that is when I'm explaining my dad's 70s room. It's quite jarring to be in. We are going into one of our first bedrooms. I believe this is what I consider the primary bedroom. It's on the right side of the house if you're facing at the house, with the circular balcony. And it came together really cute. I did struggle for a little bit and end up deleting everything at one point because the way the doors were like kind of off-centered, I didn't really know what to do with it. But this bathroom does have a beautiful balcony as well as a beautifully large bathroom. I did cut out all the bathrooms because they're mostly same, and I don't think you guys want to watch me furnish the same 6 or 7 bathrooms that many times. And we will go through on the tour and kind of like look at them ever so slightly. And let me just say, the doors in this pack are so beautiful. I was like kind of obsessed. Oh, we're going in the hallway. I can't believe I left the hallway in. It's pretty substantial of a hallway. It's got like the pretty eaves all over and then the little look down area. The photo I just put in is actually one of the paintings you can win with the brand new Reaper's Reward Challenge, and you do still have, I believe, 2 more weeks at the time I'm posting this video to complete the challenge. And I will tell you, I would just do it. I love free stuff. I love free stuff. And I played through the Reaper's Reward Challenge on my channel, and I will actually link that in the end of the video in case you want to like go through and watch it because you just love hearing me yap, or because you want to see how to do it in like the easiest way possible, because I did have a couple glitches with it and I figured it out thanks to the Sims Reddit thread and the sheer straight determination of me as a simmer. I can see just like over the walls that my terrain paint is gone, and that is so irritating. And I knew it was a possibility, but I was hoping it wouldn't happen because I had loaded and unloaded through my game a few different times, so I've started to feel comfortable. Don't get too comfortable, sweetheart. That's what my game said to me. It was very unfortunate when I came in and saw it was gone. And the reason I was so disappointed, truthfully, is because it came out really good. Like the first go through, I was like, gosh, I'm a freaking genius at this. No, not anymore. I did have to redo it. It did not come out as good in my personal opinion, but at least I redid it. I'm just going through and finishing up a little bit more clutter everywhere. The hallway is very substantial, as I said, but it's not necessarily useful. Like all the stuff I put in it is kind of just crapola. I think there's more bookshelves. Oh, here I am stacking the shelves from the Crystal Creations kit because they're my favorite bookshelves, period, ever. They're glorious. They're beautiful. I think it's time we address the elephant in the room, and that is the sheer number of packs that I used. This is not a limited pack build, unfortunately. But that's because I was just having fun, and sometimes I just want to have fun. And I found a very split kind of decision. We're in the nursery right now where I do use a lot of the brand new Storybook Nursery Kit, which is one of my favorites and really fits in beautifully with the overall style of this pack. So if you're like, I want to do something complimentary, this is one I would definitely pick. I also just enjoy having more stuff for infants and toddlers. But I've seen a really split decision, whether it's on stream or in the comments of my videos or on TikTok. Some people really love a base game build, and me, when I was not a content creator, before I had more of the packs, when I was younger, I really enjoyed base game only builds because I wasn't the best builder, I didn't have the patience, and it made me feel like even though I only had base game or I only had a few number of packs, I could still have really beautiful builds. And then there's other people who also say they don't have as many packs, and they're like, no, I really enjoy watching someone who has more of the packs than I do build with them because it's fun to see stuff that I don't have. So I don't know. I try to do like a nice mix of both. I have some really fun base game builds coming up, as well as some fun limited pack builds coming up, because I am starting a challenge. You heard it here first, folks. As of right now, I only post on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, so subscribe to my channel. Sorry, I had to do a little self-promotion. But in the month of December, I am going to try to do a challenge where I post every single day for the 25 days of Christmas. That was one of my favorite little kind of holiday traditions, if you will, which it's now, I think, freeform, but years ago it was called ABC Family, if you remember. And they would do the 25 days of Christmas where every single day they would play a Christmas movie, and me and my mom, we would eat that up. And when the movies sucked, we would go to the Hallmark Channel and we would watch some cheesy, fun little Christmas movies. So I'm going to try to do like a little challenge as a nod to that. I'm really excited to get in the Christmas spirit this year because in the last couple of years I haven't really enjoyed it so much for a lot of like really absurd reasons. No one's fault necessarily. And I'm also hoping to get to do an angel tree this year. Last year I was not able to have an angel because they all got picked up and chosen, which is really exciting. And you heard it here first again, folks. If you want to possibly be a part of the angel tree tradition, make sure you're reaching out to your local organization now. Funny enough, where I live, the Chick-fil-A actually has an angel tree, and I have been counting down literally almost every other day I'm going there and like, hey, do you have the angel tree yet? Because I want to make sure I get one. And for those of you not familiar with the Angel Tree organization, it is an organization that helps families that are experiencing hard times or a bit less privileged kind of have that fun Christmas experience. It's very anonymous, so unfortunately you don't get to interact with the families, but it's still a really fun way to give back to your community, and it's very much local from what I've understood and what I've read about it. So you get like your angel, it's on a little tree, and it's a little note, and typically it will have your child's age, their preferences, their sizes. So like if they're really into Paw Patrol and they wear a size small, you can have it. And then it also has like a wish list, so if they're saying, I really want a backpack, you can go get them a backpack. And I am really excited to not only be in the position where I am able to do that, but I just really enjoy gift giving. That is my love language, and I love when I have an opportunity to give back in any way I can, because I have definitely been on hard times, so I know what it's like. So I just want to point out, like, you know, do your reading now, because there is a deadline so they can actually distribute the gifts to the angel families. So you want to make sure you can be a part of that if you do. I'm going to see if I can find some links about that entire organization and put them down below in case you want to read some more. And I believe there's even like a local tracker you can find, so you can find an angel tree establishment in your local area if you so choose. I did just yap through the last like 2 bedrooms, but don't worry, we're gonna like go through and talk about them at the end of the build like I always do. But I really enjoyed this overall build, and I had fun like trying to add a lot of personality. As I've been building more with the pack, I really think the packs that pair the best with it are the Crystal Creations pack, the Storybook Nursery kit, and even the Love Struck expansion pack. I did find myself using quite a bit of pieces from that. But I will say, I do feel like the build catalog is very vast in this particular expansion pack, because there are some that I don't necessarily feel that way about. And I'm a builder, so I care a lot about the build and buy items. I know not everyone does. Now, Create a Sim, I was in Create a Sim building a sim for this thing I was doing for a video, and I'm looking and I'm like, this is new, like I've never seen this. It literally has like the gold star, like it literally is new. No, it was from Bowling Stuff. I've had the bowling kit or the bowling pack for I don't even know how long. Anyway, we are coming into our last downstairs bedroom, and this is what I consider to be like Meemaw's room or Grampy's room. And I used the Storybook Nursery kit, and I actually paired it with the wallpaper from the new pack. It is a lot, but in a really, really fun and good way, at least in my opinion. And there's not too much going on in this room. I don't know if I'm like ageist or something, but when I build like little old lady rooms or little old man rooms, I just feel like I don't do them justice. I don't know. There's not a lot of stuff for old people in this game, except now they can die, which is fun, I guess, and also really morbid when you say it like that. Like, I heard my mouth say that, and I'm horrified. But I'm using this. Oh, another pack that really pairs well is the Paranormal Stuff pack. I did forget that. I used a lot of Paranormal Stuff for just like the little clutter items, and I think it came together really, really nicely. I love all the beds that came in this pack. But we're just finishing some last little details, kind of cluttering up this room. I think I need to pick like a rug or two still. And I know we bounced around a lot, and I cut out a lot from the backyard and the landscaping because it just took so many hours. But do not worry, we are going to jump in game for a live tour so we can go through all the little details right now. Alright team, we have made it into the final part of our build, and she is glorious. I didn't realize I had cut out as much landscaping as I did, so I wanted to do like a little 360 moment because she is cute. And I also fibbed because I built this kind of a while ago, not a while ago, but I forgot. Instead of a greenhouse, I ended up putting in a horse stable. I don't really know what the thought process with that was, but it is cute, so I don't really care. Then we have our pool, our backyard area, and this lot is huge, and I feel like the house itself really gives estate vibes. It's filling up the lot in the best way possible. So you come in, you have the front of the house, you have a really beautiful kind of entryway, if you will. I went through and like fixed the terrain paint, but some of it still needs like more. But if you come over here, we have like a little artist studio in this gazebo. I don't even want to tell you how challenging it was to get stairs on both of these sides. For some reason it kept glitching. Ugh, rude. Rude, rude, rude. And I just like the way this kind of wraps around. I can't remember if I had like a pathway through here or not, but then you come around the side gate and you have our little horse stable. I think it's really, really adorbs, and some jumping little area food and water. I think it came together cute. I don't know. Sims love a horse. They love, oh, forgot to paint that. Do like that really quick, and we'll just put the same thing in there. Perfect. But the Sims love a horse. Then you come over here and we have a really glorious pool. I'm obsessed with the way this came out. I used the chairs from my Wedding Stories pack because they're some of my favorite. I like the wood tones on them, and I felt like they matched the energy of this place. Then up here we have a grill area, a bar, outdoor seating kind of thing. I don't know what this is called, like a trellis, I guess is what you would refer to it as. But I love the way it came out with the trim all the way around the building, and I think it added something to the backyard that it needed. Then we have our little swing set. Fun fact, in game these swings will actually like swing a little bit, which is fun. Like they'll swing a little bit when no one's on them. Sorry, I guess I should clarify. Then over here we have a garden area right off of little Abuelita's quarters, if you will. And there's a flower arranging table. Then over here I wanted to stay true to what the house had, which was a kind of cemetery-esque area. But I just like the way that this crypt sort of looked. I felt like it was more true to the style as well. Plus, as a child, I was definitely afraid of graveyards. I don't know, I was 6. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Then you come up here. We'll go inside the house. We have 2 beautiful balconies. But we have a really formal entryway when you come in. I spent so long properly putting the tiles into this entryway, and I used this little chandelier from the Paranormal Stuff pack, and I think it just came out so beautiful. I use these roses all over the house to kind of add that level of cohesion, and I think it came out really cute. There are so many different wallpapers in this house, it will blow your mind. And of course I had to put the knight statue in. But I used the tile from high school years, and I put in all like the trim pieces. I really like the way it came out. And I did use a 2 tile wide freaking staircase. Who am I? That bitch. I am. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I never do that. I'm afraid of it, but I did it, and I think it came out pretty stinking cute. We're going to go into the kitchen because that's kind of where we started, and I used this base game tile because it felt like it was more true to the style than, say, like a Subway tile or something super stark white with the pretty brown cabinets. This little section right here is my favorite. It feels super lived in. I use this pot from Cottage Living, and I'm hoping that because the pot is there that your Sims will only use one of the stoves, so it's not like confusing for the routing. I almost feel like this needs more clutter, maybe a rug. I would probably add more stuff in if I downloaded this, but that's just me. I downloaded it, I built it, but you know what I mean. Then in here we have our dining room. It came out pretty stinking cute. I absolutely love this record table from the Get Famous expansion pack. Then over here we have just like a little kind of entryway. Here is our first bathroom downstairs, and also Abuela's bathroom. And then we have her room. I actually love the color scheme. I really like the way it came together. There's a lot of like reds, maroons, purples, and it's kind of a serve. I really like it. And because I think she's like probably an icon, I just imagine this is her. Yeah, she has a photo of herself, a hand-painted mural of herself above her bed because she's just an icon, a legend, the moment. But there's not too much going on in this room, and I do like that she has like a little outdoor space and she loves gardening. I think that the overall house is very dark in contrast with the outside, and I don't really know why I chose that route, but I did. I don't know. Then we have our living room, which I actually really enjoy the way it came out. I think it's cute. I do wish it felt a little fuller, but the way it's centered in the room, I don't know if that would have been possible. And I went ahead and added in this portrait, which is part of the early purchasing content you can get, and it's like a family portrait. If you don't get it, there is a mod that is just like it out there, and it's one of my favorite mods I've been using for years before this pack was even an idea. So if you want that, please let me know. I'd be happy to share who the creator of that mod is. I can't think of it off the top of my head, or I would not be gatekeeping like this. I am not gatekeeping about mods. Then we have another additional hallway bathroom. Again, all of the bathrooms kind of look the same, and they're very contrasting because it's like, I imagine they probably came in and they redid like all the pipes and all the bathroom, and that's maybe why they're so different than the rest of the house. At least that's my justification for why I can't build a bathroom that's not like bright and white. Then we have our kind of piano sitting room, the billiard, if you will. I actually don't know if that's considered a billiard. I don't even really know what a billiard is. Please let me know in the comments. Then we have one of my favorite, this scene right here with the candles and like the moodiness. I just love it. It's so lived in. Then we have our, ooh, okay, my bad team. We have our study office, and I hand placed this little bar cart because it just like felt so true. I always imagined myself being one of those like top corner office executives. I watched a lot of Hallmark movies growing up, and I would definitely have a scotch bar in my office. Do I drink scotch? No, not even a little bit. Do I like the vibes? Absolutely immaculate, but I don't know. I don't think people drink tequila over ice. But yeah, I really like the way it came out. I used a computer from Cottage Living to kind of sell the timeliness of it, if you will. Then over here, this is actually a piece that we did not see, but I, again, wanted this house to feel really lived in, and I didn't like the way this corner, or this hallway was, so I didn't connect it. I didn't think we needed another hall bathroom, personally. So we have what is considered, in my opinion, like a mud room, and I used a lot of the horse ramp stuff in here, and then we even have this cute little laundry area to the outside area. I really like that you can go in either way through the houses, but I think it's really cute. I think it's practical, and if you didn't want to have laundry, or you don't have laundry, or the laundry day expansion pack, you could definitely close this off and just make it an additional bathroom and keep the mudroom. But I think the mudroom is cute. I really like an entryway because I used to leave them out of my builds all the time, and they're just like my way to make things feel lived in. Then we come into our ginormous hallway. There's so much going on. I do really enjoy the way it came out. I think it's really pretty. And it's got like the mood lighting, again, more wallpaper. Then we have an additional hallway bathroom, because why the heck would we not? And we have our primary bedroom, which is deep in green. I used a lot of the wallpaper from the vampire stuff pack because it's honestly a serve. Like, who would have thought the pack that enhanced Flatty Daddy, got us Flatty Daddy, would not only come with the icon himself, but also came with some of the best wallpapers and floors I've ever seen. I added in these little, like, radiators from For Rent because they just felt true. And at some points I was like, I need something here, and if I put one more freaking hutch in this house, I'm gonna explode. So I decided to opt out for that. Oh, what is that? What's going on here? Then we have a little sitting area. I added in this kind of fireplace because it felt romantic, and I didn't put one in anywhere else, and we just didn't need another art easel, if I'm being honest. Then we have their primary bathroom, which I actually did like a wet room for the shower bath combo, which I thought was fun, using the new Lovestruck expansion pack shower faucet heads. And the entire thing is quite glamorous in my opinion. Dual sinks and a little potty area. I love those tarot card paintings. I put them everywhere. Then we're going to go across the hall to our nursery. Hear me out. I think this is an absolute slay. I think it came out so good. I used this wallpaper, which comes with the Decor to the Max kit, and the Space Game like orange wallpaper to match. And I genuinely think this is like one of the best nurseries I've ever done. And if you don't feel that way, that's so okay. Like, you're so valid. But please don't tell me, because I'm really proud of this. And who knows, in a couple years maybe I'll look back and be like, ugh. Also, I put a bunch of these like all over my house before I'd seen them in game, and if you see them in game, they like shoot fire. There's like no way this is not a fire hazard. This is in a baby's room next to curtains. It's definitely a fire hazard. But I just think it came out so cute. This is from the toddler stuff pack mixed with, there's lots of packs, but I just think this paired all so well together, and in my head I was like, I'm a genius. I'm genuinely a freaking genius. So if you don't like it, please don't tell me. Then over here we have what I would imagine is a older teens room. It has a really fun kind of like study area. This room is glorious. I love how big it is. There's like a little poof, very teenage girl coded. I know, because when I was a teenage girl I had lots of poofs. And then we have the bed. I used the brand new furniture set and paired it with some of the items from Growing Together. Sorry, I was lost on me. And then the wallpaper is really did it for me. This wallpaper is from the Crystal Creations kit, and then because it's like very much like rooted in astrology and astronomy, like there's stars, there's tarot cards, telescope, I don't know. It felt right. The vibes felt right. Then over here, I would imagine is maybe what would be her twin brother. maybe he's just even older, maybe a young adult, and he is a conspiracy theorist. He is hunting death before death can hunt him, and I just love the idea that he has like dedicated his life. He goes to conventions, he watches like YouTube videos when he's brushing his teeth. His whole For You page is just like about death, finding death, hunting death down, and like what it means to die. Honestly, very philosophical if you think about it. But I paired it around this base game bed because I didn't want to use too much. I wanted to use different beds everywhere, and I felt like I'd used a lot of the life and death beds already. So I opted for this one, and I think it came together really pretty. I love the wallpaper. Again, a different wallpaper swatch. We're going crazy with the wallpaper here. And then they have an ensuite bathroom as well with this big corner tub because I never get to use it. I almost made this an additional bedroom, but I decided not to. And I almost regret that because this is a big stinking room. Like, it's the same size as this one. But that is going to be the overall of our interior of this house. I'm going to show you guys like a little bird's eye because I know some people really like to copy floor plans, and I'm not a gatekeeper. At least I try not to be unless I don't know the answer to things. So this is our top floor, and there are 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms here, and 3 balconies, which is crazy. Then you come downstairs, there's 1 additional bedroom and 2 additional bathrooms, bringing our total to 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms with an office, a formal dining, a sitting room, music area if you will, and 3 additional balconies, plus our little artist gazebo studio and our horse lounge. And can I just say, I am so happy with how this house came out. I really enjoyed it, and of course it will be available on the gallery if you decide to download it. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, there are so many stinking packs. It's honestly embarrassing, but I was having a lot of fun. If you would like to see me do a little bit more of my limited pack style, or you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, watch another video, and subscribe to my channel. You know, I love when you do that. But if you've made it so far, thank you so much for supporting the dream. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.